Alright YouTube, you know what time it is. After looking at the title and also the thumbnail, we are going to be testing out Trude today. Now, we're going to be testing her out in PvE first, so just for farming Nightmare, because we do have a lot of newer players coming into the game this month. So I just want to actually test her out to see if she can farm, and if she can farm, it'll be very, very good, because I've heard already that she's very good in PvP, and I will showcase her in PvP extensively in a separate video, so don't worry about that. Today is farming day. So I'm just going to talk about how I'm going to actually test her for you guys. So currently we have her at T0, no skill enhances invested. This is all on purpose. I was waiting to record this. And if I scroll all the way to the right, you can see I have 6 copies available to Transcender to Transcendence 6. So I will do that once we hit a wall. So I'm gonna first farm Nightmare 1-1 and then go up to 6-1, then 11, then 13, then I think 16, and then 18, and then we'll stop there. And we're gonna see if she can farm currently with this setup. And if we do actually fail, what I'll actually do is skill enhance her first, and then after that we're going to start transcending her. So this is the gear that I have, because she does have a lot of crit damage boost into her passive, not her passive, but her skill 2. Don't really need too much, but you do want to make sure you're at 100% crit rate. She doesn't have any ignore defense. If you're farming with her, this is the setup you're going to want to go. Of course, for PvP, you're going to want a different setup, right? Because you're not going to really need assassin set for the most part for PvP. Although it's okay, I think there's better builds you can do. But I do have her on a damage ring. Now, of course, 6-star damage ring for Nightmare 1-1 doesn't really make sense. What I'll actually do is for 1-1, I'll use a 4-star ring if I have one. And then on, what's it called, 6-1, I'll use a 5-star ring. Then after that, I'm going to start using a 6-star ring, okay? So what her Transcendence actually does, before we actually get into the test, she gets a lot of attack, she gets weakness hit chance, which you might want to utilize for PvP. Even for farming, it might be good. But in terms of like the Transcendence 2, you just get a barrier, so it doesn't really matter too much. And at Transcendence 6, you just get, you know, 100% crit rate on everything. So yeah, that's pretty huge. She turns into like Tio, except it works on her basic attacks as well. So you'll have to switch her build. And I think at that point, you just switch her to a weakness hit chance build. So we're going to test her out. Obviously, the build will change at T6, but let's go to 1-1. I don't really suspect that she'll have any problems, because she has a lot of tankiness, a lot of lifesteal, and she's probably really good at farming in the easier stages for sure. Okay, so we're in 1-1. I mean, should be pretty easy, right? I have Yunhee as my first team because she is very consistent. You're going to want to use the top skill first because it gives you a crit damage buff, so definitely make sure you do top first. I am going to use a farming pet. I will switch out the pet as well if I do find some troubles to a damage pet, but let's just do one battle, see how it goes. And I'm going to expect that she doesn't fail here, otherwise that would be a bit of a problem. Yeah, my Yunhee just one-shots 1-1. I haven't been here for a while. What's your damage? Okay, it's pretty good actually. So, 0 skill investments, 4-star ring, assassin set. I mean, the damage is a little lacking. So, at 1 copy, even with really good gear, you can see that she isn't the best farmer. But I guess she technically kills, right? Because she has lifesteal and stuff like that. So that's pretty disappointing for farming. In fact, my fodder is doing a lot of the work here. But yeah, that's pretty much how it works for Trude. Okay, we're gonna test it again with a 6-star. Actually, I'll use Sherry because it's just more realistic for people. So we'll try it like with this. Maybe this ends up one-shotting. And if it does, we'll keep going. So I don't think farming pet's viable right now, which is pretty sad. Her damage seems not that high, which is kind of expected, right? She's like a bruiser. But let's see. So now with the slash and bash, does this end up 2-shotting? If not, it would be very sad. A very sad day. So here we go, reckless charge. Very close. So that doesn't even 2-shot. So you can see She really struggles at T0 without skill investments. So yeah. Okay, so now we are going to skill enhance her because she does seem to have some trouble. I only have 2, but when I get her to T2, I get another one. So I'm just gonna rip it. Hopefully we hit. Okay, so we do hit one of the skills. Is that gonna be enough? I don't really know. But we'll test it once again, and I'll skip ahead so you can see the damage, so it's a lot easier to see. So here we go, this is Trude's damage. I think the bottom skill is enhanced. So this is gonna stay the same here. Now let's see, does this actually kill? With one skill enhanced. I guess her passive as well. So close. Oh my god, her damage. I mean, she will kill this, right? I'm not gonna make you watch, but I guess she's okay, but it's so slow. Okay, so that was kind of a fail. I think she definitely needs some help. So what we're gonna do is T2 her right away. It doesn't really do anything, but we do get 18% attack. And then after that, I'm going to enhance her once again. So now we'll enhance. Please don't hit the basic attack. Of course, we hit the basic attack. Okay, well, I just bought one out from the arena shop after doing a bit more arena runs. So finally, we can do the last skill. Okay, there we go. So we have her at T2 with her skills maxed. So surely she'll be able to kill, right? Let's see. If she doesn't, it'll be pretty disappointing, but we're still gonna go the distance. Like I said, I'm gonna T6 her in this showcase regardless, because I think for sure at T6 with the bonus to just critting everything, she should be able to farm. The real question is before then, if she's able to. So we go, slash and bash. Does okay damage. I don't think this is gonna kill. I repeat, I don't think it'll kill. Yeah, the damage is not that high for farming, so kind of made sense, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so now I think we just send it. I'm going to full enhancer or full transcender. I don't think there's a point going to T4 because the weakness hit chance and the HP we wouldn't use at all anyways, right? So we're going to T6 her here. And then I'm going to test her on a separate build because you have to realize now all her skills will crit like Tio's. So we do have her at T6. She does have the 100% crit rate boost on all of her attacks. So let's test her out on a different build. Okay, so this is the setup that we have. We are overcapped on some weakness hit chance and the gear isn't the best, but honestly pretty realistic for people using her as a farmer that would want to. So now we're gonna see how much damage she can actually do here. So of course we have Yanni, I'll skip ahead. Okay, so here is the Trude wave. Yeah, she does way more damage on this build. So T6 gives her a ton of damage, and I think it's kind of what you need to make her a farmer, which is pretty sad, especially at 6-1. But you can see it's super quick now. She 2-shots. Now we're in 11-1. This is a pretty good farming place because you start getting 6-star accessories, so I'm gonna switch her onto a 6-star accessory as well, even though probably won't make too much of a difference. Actually it does because I do get a lot of stats, so get 2% more damage and 9% more attack. I will switch her back to a farming pet because you're gonna want to run a farming pet regardless, and I do have her at T6, so surely she can do this at T6 with a farming pet because Kyle is able to do this at like T0 here. But I don't think she's like primarily a farmer. But the point of this mostly is to see if you're pulling her for PvP, right? And you're a newer player, doesn't have any farmers built, if you can actually still use her as a farmer. Probably should have skipped ahead because you're watching the Yanni kill, but it's okay. She kills in like 2 autos. Okay, so here's the Trude wave. Let's see. I mean, pretty close. Maybe we do need the physical pet on her still. Yeah. Well, I think the test might be finished. Doesn't look like she's a good farmer, guys. I'll try it one more time with the physical pet and see. Okay, so this is with the Sherry pet once again. Does give a pretty big damage boost. So, it does work. Does this kill? I don't think it will, actually. It does. Okay, so you do need, like, a physical pet, which isn't good because you're reducing the drop rates of what you get, so I don't really know if it's worth it. Not really a good farmer. Okay, so last test, it's going to be 13-1, mostly because you can start getting the highest amount of fodder drop rates. You don't get 2-star fodder anymore here. That's why it's pretty good to farm. Okay, my Yunny obviously handily defeats the wave. Now we are gonna try Trude. Can't really tell if she'll kill. We'll have to see. Kinda doubt it. These look like at 45%. Yeah, so... I mean, I guess if you have like god tier gear, but at that point it's like... Why would you even use her as a farmer, right? Because there's just other characters, better characters you can use. So yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say you don't really want to use her as a farmer. In fact, you can see like it's very similar to my Tio stats. The crit damage is literally the same. The weakness hit chance is literally the same as well. I guess my Tio does have more attack, but honestly, not really that good of a farmer. I don't really recommend using her, but I think she's going to be a very good PvP character, and I will be showcasing her for PvP in multiple teams, so you guys can, you know, wait for those videos to come up. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully this helps you out in making your decision if you're looking for a good farmer, because honestly, at first glance, it looks like she might be an okay farmer because she gets that crit damage buff. Well, not the best choice, so mostly because she doesn't really get like a physical attack buff anywhere in her passive. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.